Hey guys, I'm Tamara Bennett and this is Southern Adornments Decor. We're going to be doing 5 ways to do polka dots fast and easy, so stick around. Alright, so we're going to be sharing 5 ways to do polka dots. Let me get my sleeves up so I don't get paint on my shirt. We are going to be doing them on this piece of cardboard because I didn't want to do all 5 ways on a door hanger. So this is going to simulate what the wood would be like. And I forgot to get anything to dip my paint in, so just a moment. Let me grab a egg carton. When I'm doing polka dots, I love using this side of the egg carton because it's nice and flat. So that's what I'm going to be using. And we're just going to start with some basic white. That way you guys can see it really well on this cardboard. So just think about any kind of door hanger that you do, and when you need to add a pattern like polka dots, I'm going to show you 5 different ways to add polka dots. And so some of these are things that you may want to purchase on Amazon or purchase from my shop, and some of them are going to be things you can find around the house. Are you ready? So first one, go look in your trash can in your bathroom if you're not disgusted and get you a toilet paper holder. This is like the simplest, most basic one, but I'm going to show you. Lots of people could do this at like a paint party if you needed a quick way to draw a basic polka dot shape. Now this one has been smushed a little bit and it's not the perfect roundness, but that's okay. I'm going to dip it in my paint like that just to get the edges. And then we are going to push down onto our wood. You could even give it a little twist if you want. Probably shouldn't give it a little twist for these, but that just makes it irregular. I kind of like how you could paint the middle in and fill it in, or you could do a pattern with these where they kind of, all over the place, some of them overlapping. How fun would that be? So there's one way. You could just do a fun little filled in pattern, or you could have them interlocking with one another, kind of like a chain. That's one way. So that's the easiest, cheapest way if you've got a toilet paper holder at home. I also found a smaller one. This came off of my Dymo Label Maker label roll, and I thought, ooh, this would be perfect for polka dots, so I ought to keep this one. And so you could mix the sizes of your polka dots if you wanted some larger and some smaller, and it's just like stamping. And you could do the same thing with these, interlocking them to kind of create a chain or a border if you wanted to do a border on your door hanger. Kind of reminds me of a pearl necklace. Okay, another one that is this one is actually more perfectly round than the toilet paper holder. But another one that is circular and hollow on the inside that you may have sitting around at home. How many of you have little boys in your home that have Nerf guns? I have probably 1,000 of these around my house, and I ought to just start collecting them anytime I find them and putting them in my craft room, because we're going to use the bottom side of this Nerf dart to create a polka dot. So just dip it. Now, a fun thing you could do with this is if, you know how you've got those door hangers where there's like a monogram in the middle and there's like a circle? You could do these in a circle all the way around the monogram letter. I'm going to create a real small circle so I don't take up my whole cardboard here. But you could use these to create a circle all the way around your monogram letter. Or if you're doing a door hanger of I don't know, let's say a cow with flowers in her hair, you could put a cute little necklace around her. Look how cute that is. And so easy. You could make letter shapes out of these. Let's do like a letter T for Tamara. So I'm doing a little bit of a gentle twist too to make sure it's touching down in all areas. But you could create letters with these. Really easy. So I made a letter T. How fun. Okay. The next way, and I have these in my Amazon affiliate shop, or I've collected all the links for you. If you want to say the word link, it'll send it to your Facebook Messenger. I have 3 different kinds of polka dot sponges. And I don't know, I've used them all for different reasons and different times. So the first one is these little bad boys. You can find them at your craft store, at Walmart even, in the paint section, and on Amazon. I think the pack I have on Amazon is like $9 for 40 of these, and they come in a variety of sizes from this size all the way down to, let me get the small one for you, this size. So little bitty up to 1 inch. And so for these, you just dip. I like to take and scrape off the excess so there's not a lot of paint on it. You can just barely see the paint's on there. And then when I do a dot, I push down and twist. And it makes a perfect little polka dot. Now, let me show you up close. It does have the little tiny bubbles. See the bubbles? Blow on them gently, and they will all pop. Now, it will leave you with a slightly textured polka dot, but who's really going to notice that? I mean, it honestly doesn't bother me a bit because I kind of like the way it looks. Now, one tip, if you haven't heard me say this before in my videos, for doing polka dots and not having them look like you've got one weird polka dot off over here and you don't have you got a weird spot that needs a polka dot, but you don't have enough room. You've had that problem before, haven't you? I want you to do your dot like this. So you've got your first one, and then we're going to pretend that all this doesn't exist down here. This is just, we're looking at this area here. You're going to do the next one. I'm going to go up, anywhere up to the left, right, whatever, and do a second one. And so I've left about, you know, the width of the sponge daughter in between. And then the third one that I do, I'm going to create a triangle shape. So I should be able to take like a pencil and draw a triangle between those 3 dots. So then when you do your 4th dot, you're going to create another triangle. So take these 2 and do another one up here to create a triangle. Take the last 2 you did, make another triangle. So that right there will ensure that you always have your dots placed perfectly. Now don't be afraid to go off the edge of your door hanger with like a half dot. So if I was continuing this right up here, making triangles, this one right here is going to land, oops, sorry, I'm off camera. This one right here is going to land halfway on and halfway off, but that's okay. That's what makes it look like naturally placed. You don't want them to only be floating in the middle of your door hanger. You want them to kind of be going off the edges. Okay, so I'm done with that one. So these come in like 4 different sizes if you need these. They're $9 for like 40 of them on Amazon. The next one I want to show you, and these come in 1, 2, 3, 6 sizes. They have this little plastic casing, which I love because you can pop this off. You can hold this under the water and squeeze it until all the paint comes out. This is the largest one. It is, I don't know how big, like 1.5 inches. It's a little bigger than the little wooden handled ones we just showed you, and they're made by Martha Stewart. I think they are $7 for all 6 of these. I love these. The foam in these is a much higher quality foam than the ones in these. It's like more dense, and I think it creates less bubbles, and it's just a smoother, nicer, perfect polka dot. These, after they've been in my bag a while and they've been used a lot, they tend to lose their round shape, if that makes sense. They're like a little bit of a wonky circle. But these have always maintained their shape really well. So just do a little dip, and it's hard to get it coated really well. So I usually, off to the side, will kind of create my first dot and wiggle around the paint to kind of smooth it out, make sure it's nice and even all the way around. You can even scrape if you need to, and then do your dot. Push down, nice and firm, give it a gentle twist, and lift up. Then blow and pop the bubbles. So you can create these really quickly. I can usually do 3 or 4 dots before I even have to dip again. And like I said, these come in multiple sizes. They even come all the way down to like the 1/2 inch size. I believe this may be, is this the smallest? No, 1/4 inch size is the smallest. So this is 1/2 inch, and they even have a 1/4 inch size that's pretty tiny. So you can do all kinds of really great polka dots with these Martha Stewart pouncers. That's all for those polka dots. Now these are really cool. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are these made by Martha Stewart also? I kind of think they are. They come in a 2-pack, but you get 4 sizes of dots. I think the largest one is 3 inches, but see, each one has a different size. And so these are really awesome. These don't come with any kind of holder. They're firm. You can hold them just as they are. So let me demonstrate. Are they hard to clean? Melissa, no, not at all. I just hold mine under some warm water and just keep squishing until all the paint comes out. So let's try out the largest 3-inch polka dot size and watch how awesome this thing does. Now you're going to have a lot of paint on your palette to get this big old daddy covered. So just get it all covered and then scrape off anything you don't need so that it looks about like this. Now when you do your dot, push down real firm and give it a gentle twist. And if it doesn't turn out perfect, mine didn't, push down again and twist. And so you can do some really large polka dots with these rather quickly, which I didn't hardly get enough paint on mine to do a proper polka dot. You have to have quite a bit of paint on there. But let's say you were batch creating door hangers, and I have a blog post coming out very soon about that very topic. If you're batch creating door hangers, and by batch creating I mean doing multiple door hangers that are exactly the same and you need to get them done quickly, this is a very fast way to create a pattern on those door hangers and just knock it out real fast, because you just use the same polka dot sponge and you go down the line and do every one exactly the same. So looky there. How fun would it be to take these different kinds of sponges and like do a pattern, like maybe do large polka dots in one color? Here, let's try it. Why not? Why just talk about it? Let's try it. Let's get some blue paint or something different. And we're gonna get our little, I'm gonna use the opposite end, but this little thing here, this was the tube that came from my Dymo label printer labels. And we're gonna mix it with these little polka dots. And wouldn't that create a fun pattern to do large polka dots in one size and then the smaller hollow polka dots in another size? And so it creates a really fun pattern. Just place them randomly. Whoops, I messed that one up. So in that case, you get a baby wipe, you clean that up, and you go again. But it's just a fun way to kind of mix patterns. So you could do large polka dots in one size and small polka dots in another. Okay, let me set that to the side, not get paint on everything. All right, next I want to show you a stencil, but I need another piece of cardboard because I used this one all up. So let me set this one to the side. So I sell this stencil in my shop. As you can see, this one has been well loved. I was about to say the words used and abused, but it has been well loved. It hasn't been abused. It hasn't been cleaned like it probably should have, but that's okay. It'll still work. So if you need stencils, we have these in our shop. They are reusable. I have used these for dozens of paint parties and they're still great. Just lay it down on your door hanger. Ideally, you'd want your background to be painted one color already, but since we're painting on cardboard here, I'm not gonna bother with that. And then we'll just do the blue since I already have that laid out. And I just like to get a sponge like this, or you could use like a makeup sponge. The key is to not get a lot of paint on your brush. So when you dab it, like we usually do, scrape off the excess, try to get as much off as you can. And then in a quick motion, hold the stencil down with one hand because it's not taped down. It's not a sticky stencil. Hold it down and quickly dab, 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 dab. And then once you've got that one covered, get some more paint. I'm going to scrape off the excess. And just dab, dab, dab. We have all different kinds of stencils like this in different patterns. Somebody had said earlier to teach doing chevron. I almost never do chevron unless I'm using a stencil, because chevron is hard to do by hand. So I highly recommend, if you want to do chevron, to get one of the stencils from our shop and do it that way. It's going to save you so much headache and it'll be way faster. So just keep working, keep adding paint to your sponge pouncer. You could do this with different colors if you wanted to. You wouldn't have to do all the same color polka dots. But just, like I said, work quickly so that you're not getting a lot of paint in any one area. You just want to make sure that you've got it covered so that when you peel it up, you don't have to do it again. Okay, we're just going to do that little portion. And then while it's still wet, quickly pick it up and your polka dots are done. Look at that. So simple and so easy. And then you take this, you run it under the sink with some water, and you rinse it off. So those are great to have at paint parties if you need stencils. All right, I hope you guys found this helpful, doing different polka dots in different ways. Someone said, do you have any houndstooth stencils? Not right now, but that is a good suggestion. Thank you. Brittany said, would it be different using a paintbrush? On the stencil, yes. I don't recommend using a paintbrush. They do make certain kinds of brushes that are for stenciling. If you have one of those, that's probably fine, but I don't recommend using a paintbrush, because think about when you're using a paintbrush, you're pushing that paint and pulling that paint around, and you're more likely to get it up under the stencil into an area that would not turn out as pretty as this. So I don't recommend using a stencil at all. How much is the stencil? I believe they are $18. I'm not quite sure. You'll have to go check. All right, thank you so much, and please hit the button down below to sprinkle the love, and I will see you all again on Friday for Friday Fab 5. Bye, y'all.